Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Amplified server, and in this episode you might have been expecting me to be working on the Nether Tunnel. Well, after I designed that one that we did in the last episode, I went, oh wait a minute, mobs can spawn on the roof, which is bad for our farm because we are creating a mob-proof spawning environment around it. So I've been working on redesigning it and not having much luck, so we might have to wait before we get to the final design there. But anyway, I hopped on today and I thought, do you know what, I've been really inspired with Redstone lately. I've been making little contraptions on the plot world and just enjoying it a lot, and I saw an opportunity to make one right here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So I think we need to have a way to get into this back area, because I've just picked these items out of the back here, and it's because I logged out when this thing was still sorting. When I log back in, they're all stuck in this one right here, which is actually alright because we have a system to detect when that goes wrong. So what I want to do is create a bit more of a proper area around the back here for coming over and fixing things. So stuff like this is going to disappear. However, I'm not going to use that actually. We're going to use this again. I like to keep using this so we can check, that everything's working. And every time I put items through here, they do make their way over to this back bit. So I was thinking about, where can we put a door for this area? And it's all pretty much used up. However, we do have this blue bit right here, and I was thinking, well, maybe we can make an entrance there. It's going to be tough with this water and this glass. But then I thought, well, if the glass wasn't here, then it wouldn't be so tough. We can control the water at the top using redstone, and then we can move the logs behind it, which I realise now is going to be a little bit of a task. Do you know what? It does lose a lot of vibrance when you take that out. That is really colourful, and then it looks kind of dull, to be honest. I'm not sure I really like that 100%, so I'll obviously think over this idea before I rush into anything, but with a little bit of redstone and timing, it should definitely be possible. We can put some pistons just out the back here that are going to retract and allow us to walk through, and then it's a case of controlling the redstone. When it, has finished making its way down to the bottom, that's when the pistons will retract. Problem is, there's not a lot of space for redstone back here. So maybe that's not ideal, or maybe we use the one on the other side if that's got a little bit more space, but I doubt it. So it's time for me to put on my thinking cap, but that is our first little project for this episode, is to try and make a secret entrance somewhere here so we can get into this back area. You know what, this is going to be totally possible. There is always a way with redstone, and I do like a good challenge. I have really been loving the redstone lately, and this is just going to be awesome. So we're going to start off by putting a dispenser up here, because that is how we're going to let water flow into the area down below. Straight away it occurs to me that this could be a disaster, so let's make sure all of this is sealed. I mean, I know it will flow straight down, but I'm talking no risks whatsoever. We need a way to pop through here though. So I guess putting that along the side there, we'll replace that later on. Anyway, let's go up the top here, because there appears to be only one way to power this dispenser, or at least, let's say the first way that I noticed actually worked, so I didn't really investigate too many other ways. That is our dispenser right there. It has now been activated because it was bud powered by a block that was next to it, which was this one right here. And I think if we remove this block, yeah, that's not going to be visible, so we can actually put this over to the side. So there should be loads of water below this thing now. Let's actually update that and remove it by putting a redstone torch here. This is going to be how we power the dispenser. So remember, we're awkwardly wrapping our little redstone contraption here around the surrounding. Now the reason that I like this is because so often when you go to create stuff in redstone, you do it in a test world environment, and you just make a door that would fit somewhere where there isn't redstone. But I like the challenge that this adds. I like that we have to think outside the box a little bit, or more so work with some a different environment or something along those lines. Let's put down random blocks and then stand on them. We're going to put some half slabs here, and the reason why is because we don't want the redstone to power the block that it's on. So a little bit of redstone goes right here, I think a little bit behind it again, and then this block can be powered, although that technically locks the hopper above it. That means the items will just, let's say there's items flowing through there when this gets activated, it'll back up for a second, but it won't break anything at all. So that's a slight oversight right there. If we bring the redstone wire back one more, this block will be able to power it, so that's why it doesn't work like that. So we're going to put a piece of redstone there, and then a repeater here pointing into that. So now we've got a way to power and control the water that flows up and down. Okay, I've placed a few more blocks. We've got a line of redstone that comes down these half slabs to this block right here. this won't interact with anything around it, which is awesome. Then down the bottom here, I put in the pistons that are going to control the wood. So the wood will be here when those are extended. When they're retracted, they'll be back by 1 block. That means we can walk through and go into this area. Now we're going to control this with a T flip-flop of sorts, or at least the pistons are going to sort of move the blocks like a T flip-flop. So we'll have our input right here. Now this block will power the hopper down below, but once again, if it does do that, it means there'll be 2 items there for a moment, and then they'll flow one by one, and it won't break anything at all. So we're not going to worry about that. But when this receives a signal, it's going to create a 1 tick, which means this will push the blocks out, leave them in front, and then pull them back again, which is how we want to operate this door. So the thing we need to do next is figure out how it is we're going to bring a signal from the front area over here around to the back. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do all of this quickly, just change it over to wood, to the correct material, because we're going to remove this block right here, and that went all the way down there. I want to pick it up. I'll go get it in a minute. Don't worry about it. Not going to let it despawn. And this means that we can power this block, which I haven't actually created a button for. I thought I got prepared, you know, tried to get as many materials as I could. We can press that and we can extend this piston, and it won't interact with anything around it if we use a cauldron. And I really like this actually. This is like sort of passive redstone in a way, because oh, we just got very lucky, didn't we? Oh, we got very, very lucky there. I am relieved. Oh man, that was so close. So close. Okay, let's hop back up. Yeah, it didn't touch anything, did it? How lucky did we just get then? Did I also get my block of wood? I think I got my block of wood. No, there it is. We'll grab that while we're here. Brilliant. That was a success. Almost a disaster, but a complete success. So what was I trying to do? I was trying to put it in the cauldron, and I held down shift. So there we go. Right, water is in the cauldron. That's going to move forward. Let's put in a few half slabs underneath, just so we can kind of block off what's going on here. So these half slabs will just go along like that. That's going to move forward to here, which means we can put a comparator down. And then in front of that, we're going to put another sticky piston. And actually, I think this one I decided was going to face upwards, maybe? Or did it just face forwards? I think it went upwards in the end. Yeah, so let's put one there and put a cauldron on top of it. Where is that actually going to go? That's going to go up by 1 block, and the piston is in the way. I feel like I've done something wrong here. But either way, the point I'd like to make is that the comparator powers the piston, but the piston is a transparent block, or a translucent, whatever the term is to describe it. It's not going to power whatever's next to it, basically, which would be fine, because in this case it is a repeater. So something here isn't quite right, and I'm not sure what exactly that is. You can actually see what I did wrong here. You see this block? You'd technically be able to see that that is a cauldron. Can I not get the water back like that? Huh, thought you could. So what I'd actually done before is, I'll see you later, sticky piston, is just put a bit of redstone here. It's not going to interact with anything or disrupt anything, so we have our piston all the way, I put that 1 block too further forward. So we have it right there, and then it means that this can keep its aesthetic quality all the way down, so all you'll be able to see is the wood blocks, which is a nice touch. So then we have a block here, or sorry, a cauldron here, and that's going to push into the comparator over there. Okay, so now you should be able to see that the signal comes up to here, and then it travels all the way up to the dispenser. So we've done that bit, and the next bit was a little bit confusing. Also want to point out, this is what I was talking about. The piston is next to a redstone wire, and that doesn't get powered, which is cool. So the problem now is that there's going to be a delay. There's going to be a delay when the water falls down. So we want to activate the dispenser first. When that's done being activated, the water will take a little bit of time to disappear, and then this can retract. Now the reason that we want to do that is so the water doesn't flow out here and mess up all of our redstone. So we need that to activate first, then the door to open, but then we need it to work the other way around. We need the door to close first, and then the dispenser to happen after, which means you need an ABBA circuit, and building one of those in this small space, you know, going to be a real head scratcher to do. So spending my time trying to figure that out. And then the solution I thought was brilliant, because it's not even about redstone, it's about the water. And also you can go and you can be a normal block. Let's see. Let's put all of these in. We want 1 right there, we want our 2 here, and 1 there, yep. So if we just put a sign here, then we don't have to worry about the timing, because the water could never leave this area, right? and that's kind of amusing to me. So, with that, I think we're kind of done here. Let's see, what do we have to do now? We have to put... Did I grab a redstone block? I didn't. Let me go get one of those. Okay, sticky piston there, block of redstone, then it needs to power the block in front of it, which is going to create that 1-tick pulse. So at the moment, if we were to activate the door, the water would appear and this would shut, right? I'm confident. I'm going to give it a test run. Let's press the button. Hopefully I haven't forgotten about anything. There we go. Let's press it again when we come back out, Sorry, actually, when we go in, when we need to do our work, we press that. We can hop through here, go into the back area. Awesome, we did it! And then we come out here and we press the button and it closes. Amazing, I like that. I've got to say, it's a little bit of a shame that the watercolor isn't going to be as vibrant as that, but it's totally awesome. I like it. And now I'm starting to think about the OCD factor. We got a button here, a button there. Should we build one on the other side? No chance. We're not going to do that at all. I am going to take out all of this stained glass, however. So that was a real success, and now I'm destroying my own base. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to tidy up that back area because I want it to be a little bit more accessible and such. So as well as this door, we're going to do a few other bits and bobs back there. Oh, I just put some items away to be sorted and I thought, what is that horrendous sound? I've overlooked something here. Let's go see if we can spot it. That is ridiculous. Well, I'm glad to know that the timing, how I was originally going to do it, which meant that the water could have flowed out into the base, won't be disrupted by this. So what exactly... Oh, okay, so that little bit of redstone wire down the bottom there, or something along the way, is getting powered. It kind of looks like the pistons. Oh, because the pistons themselves are probably next to something that gets powered, right? Maybe it's being bub powered by this block. Yep, look, this isn't moving. Okay, so this is being bub powered and updated, which is why this activates. Okay. Alright, at least we know what the problem is. We may just be extremely lucky here. If I extend this with a repeater, we point into this piston, which will get powered, but it won't power anything around it. That means this little bit of redstone here can act as normal, and there's just about enough space for this to work. So the cauldron can come up there, and it can send the signal either side, and it can power this piston over here with a block of redstone below it, which isn't going to bub power or interact with anything here. But if you have a look, like one block further over, and it wouldn't have been possible. So I don't think I've overlooked anything, but I did that last time. So obviously we've got to give this thing a check. So let's make sure that it works. Nothing happened. Oh dear. Why would that be? This thing can move up. Oh, I spotted this a moment ago, and then I did a silly. Yeah, I literally looked at this and thought, that block's going to be in the way. Then I went, oh no, we can put it up here. That's the wrong height. That comparator needs to be there, and this is where this is. However, we can actually, move that back by one block, so that shouldn't be a problem. Okay, this works now. I've tested it, everything is good, and I'm just going to show you quickly that a few things have been changed around just because of the wiring. I think one of the problems was the signal strength of the comparator, so the repeater is now over here, and yes, it all works. So enough of that. I decided that I would just work on this back area next, and this is what I'm going to go for. I did mention that I wanted to have grass in all of the back areas, but I want to expand on that a little bit and just tidy up the area so it looks good. And we're going to keep it real simple. We're going to have a trim of wood going around the outside and then stone above it, and they're basically going to be the three materials we use back here. And glowstone, so grass, glowstone, wood and stone. And then I thought for the first one that we're going to sort out over here, which will be cobblestone, rather than have the tracks sort of go around on the grass, I'm just going to have them go off like this behind the scenes, and then they'll make their way out somewhere over there and start going into the cobblestone filter area. So I'm just working on this, and it's actually quite tedious, so it's going to take a fair bit of time, so I'll probably do this in little bits and sort of update you on how it's going. But this area over here kind of feels like a little bit empty because there's nothing to fill this space, but I'll tell you what, we'll put some glowstone here because we want all of that area up above to be lit up nicely. And yeah, I've even got dirt down here in preparation for the grass to spread all the way down, and then it'll go all the way down the sides here as well and spread into this back area. So all our back areas are going to have this theme of grass, wood and stone, and then once we've got all the stuff we've done so far done, we can just continue doing that over and over, and I think it'd be nice to have that sort of theme behind the scenes. So yes, I'm not going to do this for too long though. I do want to move on to some other things, so I'll get a bunch of progress done to show you, and then we'll move on. The blinking lights was a really cool idea. I love this thing, and I think I've just figured out what makes it break. And actually, we'll do a test as well. So I've been coming over here, opening the chests, and then I think every time I've seen it backed up, I can sort of think back and go, do you know what? Before it's backed up, I've actually come over here and, you know, opened some of these chests. Now, some of them are trap chests, and remember, there's items going through all the time, and then they lock up the hoppers behind them, and I think that must back something up somewhere. So I've opened a few chests. Maybe we will see this lock up again. Let's go around the back and see if anything happens. I think it's going to be okay though. Yep, look at that. That one's backed up, and that's just after I've opened one of the chests. So there you go. That has some sort of effect on it, and I think we've solved that mystery. Anyway, the area back here, it's coming along, and the thing that I'm sort of struggling with now is what do I want to do for the roof? I obviously want to keep it simple. Probably going to end up with just stone for the roof underneath all of this dirt, but I just haven't really got around to that yet. But round here you can see I've tidied things up. We've also got this thing hooked up, so we have a track that goes around the back. It comes up to this little thing at the top, and this is just a really basic unloader. So you have a comparator into a torch, which powers a bit of redstone right there. So as soon as items go into this hopper, then the powered rail is unpowered, and the minecart stops there until it's empty. So we're going to test this for the first time right now, and I'll show you what else I've been doing. So we've got a ridiculous amount of cobblestone backed up now. That's going to start filling up. That comparator should be detecting what's inside this minecart chest. Please tell me it does that. Apparently it doesn't. I thought I checked this. Wow. Okay, we're going to go double check that in a bit. Let me show you what else has been done. I mean, all around this side as well, but I think I'm going to done with this for now. I've cleared out this little space. Yeah, all of this tidying stuff it's alright, but it's not terribly interesting, is it? Yeah, so things are just getting done as we go along. So I think what we're going to do next is head back down to the potion area, and if this doesn't work, by the way, I think I'm going to leave it for today. I've been in this area for too long. Let's grab some of this cobble and make sure it's got a plentiful amount in. I mean, that's more than enough for a signal. Why is it not picking that up? Because it did pick it up when I built this, you know, in creative mode, testing it out. So, I've got a feeling that that's not going to work, is it? Okay, we'll leave that one for another day. Let's move on to the potion room. Okay, I've been going ham, chopping down trees, crafting tons and tons of hoppers. Kind of overdid it a little bit. How many stacks did I actually end up crafting? Yeah, 5 in total, I think. The rest of them are now down here. Actually, no, I think I crafted 8 stacks. I don't know, I've forgotten already. But yeah, these have now fit nicely into the roof area. Furnaces on top of each of them. Finished doing the ceilings, and these are for the water bottles, which is the next system we're going to build. And I was just thinking about how we were sort of doing up the area up above with grass on the ground and stone and wood, and down here we've actually done something completely different, but that's fine. That's no problem at all. So what I've been thinking about a lot is where this is going to go, because the ideal place would be right here, but eventually we're going to have some sort of entrance system. And yes, this is off, by the way. Some of you have pointed that out. I'll walk forward here. You can see it comes over to this edge. I'm not even worried about it. By the time we hook this up, we'll just make it so, I don't know, the path goes off to the side a little bit. It's no bother. But yeah, the ideal place to have the water would be sort of like here in the middle between the two. We're just going to have the water come around from this side over to this space, and then in the corner here is where we're going to have a water bottle thing, which is what I'm going to design right now. The way that I want to do this is make it so that you fill up your entire inventory of items, then you give yourself a stack of bottles and you hold right click in some water that's got a hopper underneath, and then that way the bottles will get chucked into the water, picked up, sent up an item elevator, a dropper one, and then just put into this right here. Then that'll back up over time, which is something that I got to consider with the item elevator, actually, how that's going to work, because we want it so that we can see if it's full up or not. I'll figure out a way to do that. That's the next step. We're going to open up this space right here and get all of that set up. So I may have changed my mind a little bit here, or maybe not. We're just sort of figuring out the design. But what I have changed my mind about is we're going to have a water bottle here. We're going to have another one over there so it can be nice and symmetrical. So basically I noticed this bit kind of matched the line of where we had dug out. You can see going around the edge here, this is the floor of the area above. So I put in the prismarine blocks going around the outside, And then I noticed that we can kind of make a mirrored bit right here, which is kind of perfect, and then it leaves this space nice and open. So to make it look a little bit better, what I'm also considering doing is having it drop back like it does on that side. So this would simply go back a little bit further and go across in a straight line before it matches with the one on this side. So I think that's a good way to move forward. This should give us plenty of room as well. I'm thinking about doing another little pixel art thing, some sort of water bottle, and then maybe we'll have the filling up bit like sort of at the front of it here, or maybe you'll walk through it into a room with everything that you need. I'm not sure at the moment, but I will figure it out and build it, I guess. So we have ourselves a diagonal water bottle, and I don't think it looks that great when it's diagonal. It definitely looked better when it was flat like this. But it works, just about works there in the corner. It's also a little bit taller, so you can see at the top here the roof kind of slopes up, which I might redo. But the thing that I wanted to talk about with this pixel art is the feedback that I got from all of you. I found the response to be quite telling of what's going on here, because it was quite mixed. I think a lot of you appreciated that there was such a small space to work with and that it looked pretty good for working in that small space, and a lot of you didn't really like it because of, you know, it doesn't look exactly like the items, but we've sort of done the best we can with the space that we have. But anyway, let's not go on about that. Let's talk about this little space in the corner. We've sort of copied the principle that we've got over here with the stairs, the andesite, and using the clay behind the pixel art, and it looks pretty good. And we've got our little spot for filling it up right here. So this is where we're going to come over with our water bottles. We're going to right click on the sea lantern block here, so we're clicking through the water, and with a full inventory the water bottles will fall down into the hopper down below. Then this light over here is going to indicate when we have too many water bottles in the system. So if that's not lit, then you know it's a good idea to fill it up. As soon as you see it light up, then it's a good idea to stop. So what happens is the hoppers lead into an item elevator that takes them all the way up the top, and then they get sent into our chain, which I've shown you already, I think. I can't remember, it's been a while since I last recorded, but it goes all the way across there, all the way down. So what we do next is we need to detect when this thing is getting full, and the way that we do that is just over here. We have a block of redstone with a redstone wire pointing into this comparator. Now that's not going to power or lock the hopper next to it because of the direction of it, which is really cool. And when this thing is full up, then this is going to turn on, because when it's got 5 water bottles in it, it's going to, yeah, the signal's going to be okay. It's going to send one through. That's going to send a signal through to the other side. So only when that's full up are we going to get a signal. That signal is just going to be transferred using a piston and some slime blocks downwards, so it can hit this repeater and then go off to this bit over here, which has got the lamp on top of it. So the lamp is going to light up when there are loads of water bottles there. The reason that I've put it as far across as I can is because like the closer it is to the item elevator, we might end up with bottles stuck in here. So another thing that I'm thinking about is maybe this also goes across to the side and goes on top of one of these furnaces, and then it locks the hopper here as well, which I think is what I did want to do. So I'm going to add that right now. I was trying to remember that earlier, and it's sort of come to me now. So let's do that. Let's put this torch here. Yes, it's going to lock that hopper as well, which means if you're doing like lots of bottles here and you're not really paying attention, then you might end up with some left over, but it should be alright. So there we go, that's the water bottle system. Got to fill it all up next, which means we've got to take the trip to the desert and get ourselves loads and loads of glass. Can we hit that skeleton over there? No, that was a bad shot. And there we go, we got it the second time. And now he's gonna stay over there. That's gonna be it for this episode. Do hope you have enjoyed it. As always, if you have, hit the like button. The support is truly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the Hermitcraft series here. At the moment, I've been enjoying it, and we've got a lot of work to do here on the potion factory, haven't we? Which is probably what we're going to be doing now that I still haven't fixed that nether tunnel that I talked about earlier. So I'll probably be going back to that at another time. Yeah, so many projects going on at once, but there you go. Anyway, that's it. So as always, thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.